Welcome to another explainer. We interact with dozens of devices, literally from the moment we wake up, and we're usually operating them on pure autopilot. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder how these everyday objects communicate with us? Like how they somehow just guide our hands and our minds so seamlessly? Well, today we're going to look closely at some of these hidden choices and completely deconstruct the anatomy of interaction.
So I want you to start by just thinking about this core question for a second. What makes a simple appliance completely intuitive to use without ever reading a manual? I mean, we've all been there, right? Staring at some bizarre microwave in an Airbnb, just totally lost. Yet most of the time, physical design and materials actually communicate function way before we even touch an object. It's like a giant puzzle. Industrial designers literally spend thousands of hours ensuring that the second you encounter their product, your brain instinctively knows exactly what to do.
Okay, let's dive right into this. What we're looking at here is a single, seemingly super simple moment of human-machine interaction. It's just a hand turning a dial on an appliance. It looks incredibly basic, right? But if we look a little closer, we'll see that this one frozen frame is actually a total masterclass in functional design. We are going to break down every single element going on here, from the grip of the fingers to the text on the glass, just to really understand the brilliant logic behind the whole shebang.
Section 1, the point of interaction. We'll kick off our analysis by looking at the most immediate, tactile element, the exact place where the human hand actually meets the machine. Let's break down the sensory details of this control dial. First up, notice the cylindrical protruding shape. It practically invites you to just pinch and grasp it. But honestly, the real genius is in the heavily textured, ridged edges around the outside. Those ridges offer immediate tactile grip, making absolutely sure your fingers won't slip, even if, they're wet from cooking in the kitchen. And right on the front of that cool metallic finish is an indented pointer line. It isn't just painted on. The physical indent provides undeniable visual confirmation of exactly where your setting is. So just by looking at these physical traits, we can instantly deduce the mechanical user journey that's captured right here. The appliance's design naturally dictates a very specific sequence of behaviors. First off, the user grips that textured outer dial. Next, they turn it from a central resting position to whatever their desired setting is. And finally, they use that little indented line to monitor the visual feedback against the appliance body. It's a flawless, three-step mechanical action guided entirely by the physical shape of the knob itself. Pretty cool, right? Moving on to Section 2, decoding the interface. As our attention naturally shifts away from the physical knob itself, we discover this whole informational layer printed right behind it. Look really closely at the stainless steel band framing the dial. Right alongside the prominent T&K branding on the left, there's a series of Chinese characters guiding the operation. Let's try and figure out what exactly these labels are telling the user about the device's capabilities. Let's play translator for a second to really unlock this device's functionality. Looking at the text framing the dial, at the top we see the characters for stop, which obviously powers down the device. To the left, we have the characters for manual, which engages manual user control. And over on the right, we see the text for keep warm, instructing the appliance to maintain a steady temperature. So suddenly we realize this isn't just some simple on and off switch. No way. It's a multifunction device with distinct, highly specific operational states. Also, notice the visual hierarchy of these commands. The word stop is positioned exactly at top, dead center, right at the 12 o'clock mark. This is just a brilliant piece of universal design. Placing the stop, or the off function, at the very top serves as an incredibly intuitive anchor point for us. Even in a moment of panic, returning a dial to the vertical top center position is basically an ingrained human reflex. So it essentially functions as a built-in safety mechanism. All right, Section 3, materials and form factor. With the interface fully decoded, we can kind of step back for a minute and look at the physical construction. Just observe the really striking contrast between the two main halves of this device. We've got this sturdy, opaque stainless steel base, and then sitting right on top of it is a lighter, beautifully translucent amber reservoir. And look, this kind of material contrast is never an accident in industrial design. It is highly deliberate, and it actually tells us exactly what this object does. Let's just quickly run down the primary materials we can clearly see here. First, that stainless steel base provides heavy stability, keeping the appliance totally grounded while safely housing all the internal electronics. Second, the amber translucent reservoir allows the user to actually see inside. And third, if you look right through the amber glass, there is a central metallic column. So,
This combination of a stable electronic base, a transparent holding tank, and an internal metal column, that strongly suggests we are looking at a liquid heating or boiling appliance.
And this brilliantly illustrates how each material is chosen specifically for its distinct role in the overall user experience. The stainless steel base is opaque. It hides all the messy wiring. Because, let's be real, no one wants to look at or accidentally touch raw electronics while they're just trying to make their morning tea. It grounds the device and provides a nice, cool-to-the-touch area for the controls. In contrast to that, the amber reservoir is translucent to visually communicate the state of the liquid inside. Actually, even the amber color itself subconsciously implies warmth, subtly preparing the user for a potentially hot surface.
Now, to absolutely confirm our theory about this being a liquid heating device, I want you to focus tightly on the text printed directly on the amber reservoir, just above that stainless steel metal band.
Right there on the glass, we see the characters for minimum water level. This specific label is basically the final clue that confirms our deduction. This device absolutely, for sure, heats liquids. But furthermore, it reveals a vital safety feature. The appliance relies heavily on the user actually being able to see through that amber casing to ensure the water line doesn't drop below that mark. This prevents the machine from boiling dry and, becoming a total fire hazard.
Section 4. Anatomy of appliance design. So, now that we've deconstructed the knob, translated the text, and analyzed the materials, we can really see the holistic design philosophy at play here. What we are really looking at is a perfect harmony of form and function. Just think about how these layers stack up. The steel base provides the necessary physical stability and safely houses the electrical control interface. Building on top of that, the ridge dial offers a highly tactile manual interaction point. And finally, the amber reservoir sitting on top allows for continuous, safe visual monitoring of the boiling process. It's amazing. They all just work together perfectly. So, the absolutely crucial point here is that in great industrial design, there are absolutely no accidental choices. Every single element in this one single frame, the specific texture of the dial's edge, the choice of stainless steel versus amber, plastic, or glass, the top center placement of the stop label, the safety warnings printed right at eye level, literally every detail serves a highly specific, functional job. And it's all just to keep you safe and make the experience as frictionless as possible. All of this perfectly encapsulates one core idea. Effective industrial design bridges the gap between human intuition and mechanical function without ever needing to say a word. Think about it. That hand reaching for the dial doesn't need to read some massive, complex manual. The textures, the shapes, and the layout of the device itself have already communicated exactly how it needs to be operated. It just seamlessly blends form, safety, and function. I really hope this explainer has kind of changed how you look at the objects around you, because the truth is, the beauty of design is quite literally everywhere. So I leave you with this little challenge. The next time you turn on a kettle, or adjust a dial on your stove, or even just grab the handle of your coffee maker, take a closer look. What hidden design choices will you discover? Thank you so much for joining us to explore the anatomy of interaction. Stay curious, and I'll see you in